Welcome to Fruity Knitting. I'm Andrea. Andrew's here, and hopefully later on he'll come and say a quick hello to you. So this video is an update on Andrew's current health situation. It's not a normal Fruity Knitting episode. So if you're new to our channel, Fruity Knitting is a 90-minute program bringing you knitting inspiration from around the world, as well as extra little snippets of travel, history and storytelling that we always hope adds joy to your life and brings a smile to your face. And we now have an archive of 111 episodes for you to explore through. So if you're new and you'd like an immediate suggestion, check out episode 96. That's where we covered the Swiss Yarn Festival in February last year. I think it's a really fun and colourful episode. We interview the two founders of the festival, so Sitte Krebs and Merit Bootsberger, who themselves are highly skilled knitters and designers and spinners, and they show us some of their really stunning work during the episode. And there's also a series of short vendor interviews, so that's a good opportunity for you to get to know some European producers. And there's also some footage of the stunning Swiss countryside and culture, so I think that's a good one for you to start having a look at. So as our regular viewers know, Andrew was diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumour in October last year, and since then I've really been trying to keep our channel going because it is our only form of income, as well as to give you updates on how Andrew's going. So just to recap, Andrew had a grade 4 brain tumour in the cerebellum and the brain stem, so the prognosis was not good. His symptoms progressed very rapidly and they were also very life-threatening. So eventually we came here to this private oncology clinic in Baden-Württemberg because they were able to offer him more individualized treatment. So for example, they tested his biopsy tissue for genetic mutations above and beyond what they test for at the university clinics under the standard care brain tumour treatment here in Germany, and they're able to use very targeted immunotherapy drugs and also other genetically targeted drugs that Andrew would normally not have access to unless he qualified for a certain drug trial that happened to be going on at the time that he needed the drug. So they're able to use a drug, for example, that has proven to have some effect on the same mutations that he has, but it's not approved for brain cancer yet. So it might be approved for lung cancer or breast cancer or something like that. So alongside these more sort of on-the-edge therapies, this clinic also integrates more natural therapies to try to keep the patient's toxicity levels as low as possible and to help boost their immune system, because it's all fairly aggressive treatments. And like I said, his prognosis was really poor, and in comparison to, say, quite a few other stage 4 cancers, if you have a stage 4 brain tumour in the brain stem, you really don't have a lot of time to mess about in. Things happen very, very fast. So all the treatments that are offered are strong, very toxic, and very high risk. So as you can imagine, both of our journeys over the last couple of months have been very challenging and very difficult. But the long and the short of it is Andrew is still alive, and what's really important is that he still really wants to live, and what's also really important is that both of us are still very strongly believing for a full and complete recovery. We're holding on to that. So things can change very rapidly on a week-to-week basis or even on a day-to-day basis. His blood work has gone up and down. Sometimes it's looking very life-threateningly low, some of the markers, and other times it becomes more normal, and that's a real roller coaster ride, and that's very traumatic living through and looking at all of that. Unfortunately, even when his blood work is looking pretty good, he doesn't reflect that the way he looks. He feels utterly exhausted all of the time. It reminds me of those documentaries where you see these explorers like Shackleton and Scott, and they're travelling across Antarctica, and by the end of the documentary they just look exhausted beyond imagination. Well, that's how Andrew says he feels pretty much all of the time. So he has lost a lot of weight, he's lost a lot of condition, a lot of muscle. So he's very weak right now, and it's very hard for him to even move around from side to side in bed. It's definitely hard for him to get up out of bed or go to the bathroom. It's even hard for him to feed himself. And in the last couple of weeks, he's lost his appetite totally. So I'm helping him with all of those activities, and I'm also even spoon feeding him at the moment just to make sure that he gets a minimum amount of calories in. So that's where he is physically right now. He's just been through his first round of treatment, and his latest MRI has shown that there's been good shrinkage of the tumour, so we take that as good news. The doctors are always cautious, but any good news that comes our way, we celebrate. So the plan now is just to wait and delay any further treatment until he has a little bit more strength, until his toxicity levels go down a little bit, and basically that he just has a bit more strength and he's less exhausted. So that's where he is physically at the moment. As you can imagine, my life has also totally changed. Right now, I am just a full-time carer, and I don't think I'm particularly well suited for it with my personality. I do have a strong personality flaw of being very impatient, and on top of that, I also like to get a lot of things done during the day, and that's been really difficult. But I am really trying my best to be as patient as I can. There's a lot at stake, so I am really highly motivated to do so. And as I've said to you before, I am so grateful that we have the Black Forest directly outside the back door of the clinic, and I go walking in the forest almost every day, and that has been my absolute saviour to do that. So it's quite a remote region, so when I'm walking in the forest, I'm alone, nobody is there, which I love because I'm often bawling at my eyes out or crying really loudly, or sometimes I'm even singing at the top of my voice, or other times I'm praying and to the heavens and my arms are flapping about. So I can imagine if you were to accidentally come across me in the woods, you'd think I was a mad woman and you'd be pretty cautious. But I don't care. That's something when you're just living through experiences like this, a lot of things it strips you bare, and a lot of things drop from your life, like wasting energy on unnecessary emotions. This is actually something that I knew in theory and intellectually, but in the last couple of months, I've really had a very physical experience of living this. And that's just just realizing that when your life is actually going pretty well, you can easily get away with indulging in what I would call low-level emotions, like negative emotions, like just getting crabby and taking offence when people are being really rude to you, or having minor meltdowns and tantrums when things haven't worked out quite the way you want, or things are running late, or things aren't turning out quite right. But when you have to deal with these life and death situations really sort of almost on a day-to-day basis, you just do not have any energy to waste on that. And that's become a real physical reality for me. That's what I realize. And it's just so important for me to keep my mind focused and to be able to harness my emotions to try to get through this present situation as successfully as possible. And for that I mean being able to support Andrew in the best possible way. And there's another thing that I've come to understand, which I think is quite profound, and that is if things shouldn't work out the way I'm expecting them to, and I actually have a lot of time to collapse and grieve and just let go and fall apart. But I've only got a finite window of opportunity right now to really draw out the best possible situation or outcome of this present situation. And to do that, I do need to harness my emotions. I do need to focus my mind, keep my mind focused on a positive image and a positive outcome, because I do very, very deeply believe that you have a real chance of influencing your external circumstances by how you manage to live out your deepest convictions or your faith or your attitude towards life. And that you do have power, if you're able to harness your imagination and your emotions, you have power to be able to draw towards you the best possible outcome of the set of circumstances that you're living through. If you're able to control your imagination and your negative emotions, and there is only a finite window of opportunity to do that. So apart from just the physical working with Andrew and supporting him physically every minute and hour of the day, doing that with my mind is the whole focus of my existence right now. So yeah, that's where I'm at, and that's where Andrew's at. I hope it wasn't too heavy for you. I'm sure it was, but the reality is that that's our life right now, and that's just an honest representation of what's happening for us. So on a more positive note, Madeline was able to come down and visit us about a week and a half ago, which was really lovely. Some of you have been asking how Jack's been doing, so don't worry about Jack. He's not neglected. We haven't seen him for weeks, so that's sad. We really, really miss him. Andrew's his favourite person, and I'm his second favourite person. I'm really happy for him that he's not a human and he can't think and get depressed about this. I imagine he's just feeling a sense of emptiness that he doesn't quite understand. But Madeline is looking after him very well, and he does love Madeline. And then when Madeline comes and visited us, he's looked after by a friend who loves him very much and is very good with dogs and has a good system with him. So he's very well looked after. You don't have to worry about that. So back to Madeline. She is actually going through exams right now, but which is hard for her to have this going on at the same time. But so she and I took the drone out and flew the drone over the Black Forest because I wanted to show you some good footage of it. I've never flown the drone without having Andrew's supervision, so it's a little bit scary for me, but we managed very well, and Madeline's got excellent eyesight, so she can see it way longer than I can, so that was really good. And she also, as I said, she's studying for her exams, and she has a habit of starting new hobbies when she's meant to be studying. So she started to paint. So she took her paints out into the forest and was doing a bit of painting. And so I've taken some lovely footage of her in the forest wearing her Marie Wallen dresser with those beautiful colours, which I think just complement the forest so beautifully. I've put it together. It's only a few minutes and it's with some gorgeous music. So that's a little bit of calming footage for the soul to put a little bit of peace and harmony into this video. Hopefully after that we can say a quick hello to Andrew. So welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that footage. I'm so grateful to spend a little bit of every day there. That's my saviour. So here's Andrew. He's been very tired, but he just wanted to say a quick hello.
Yeah, so just really quick hi from me. I have to say this is incredibly difficult. I just get through each day, and that's really the best that I can do. Totally dependent on support from Andrea. It's just amazing how difficult it is to get through each day.
But you're doing very well.
Well, I'm trying.
You're trying. And we're very grateful for all the messages and support that's come in.
Yeah.
And we're so thankful to our wonderful patrons for your continued support, even though we're unable to keep putting out the same amount of content that we were in the past. Really don't know where we'd be without you. This is our income, and we're so grateful for your continued support. So thank you so much. And we also set up a PayPal account, and I'd asked our viewers to contribute something small towards Andrew's medical expenses, because this treatment isn't covered under the standard care treatment for brain tumours in Germany. So we are so grateful for all of the generosity that you've shown us. So thank you very much. I am very slowly working on episode 112. Whenever I get any spare time, I put it into working on that. So that will come out sometime soon. There's a really great interview in that, which I know a lot of you are going to really enjoy. So that's something to look forward to. Thanks for checking in with us and checking on Andrew and watching the update. So take care, and just remember to be grateful for all the little blessings that you have. Bye.